Alright guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back again to the channel. So big disappointment, as you can tell by the picture on the screen. Coach Chelle humiliated with the Super Eagles team B, and he came out to say that that match yesterday was the worst match of his career as a coach. You know, um, it was a very disappointing match. I don't even know where to start. There's no positive whatsoever in this game. We lost 4 goals to 0 against a Sudanese side who I don't think, if you're talking about footballing countries, I don't think you can mention Sudan. But here we are, they beat us 4 goals to 0 after we were beaten 1 goal to 0 by Senegal in the first leg. This was supposed to be our match to recover, our match to actually keep our hopes alive of qualifying, but it ended in tatters. And there've been a lot of talks, mixed reactions from Nigerians. People are now even saying, sack Eric Shell, sack Coach Eric Shell. If he cannot get results with these boys, how do you expect him to qualify the Super Eagles to the World Cup? You know, that's what I'm seeing. Majority of sports journalists in Nigeria are saying, but there are also a few people who understand football better who are saying that it's not just the coach's fault. Again, you cannot exempt the coach entirely from that. He was the man that led them, right? Made the selection. But the players themselves, what did they do, to get result? How did they play out the strategy on the pitch? I think that's the bigger question. And for me, these guys, they don't have a future. Especially when you talk about, okay, maybe we can get one or two of these guys to promote to play in the Super Eagles. None of these guys are nearly as good to even be in the bench, of the Super Eagles team. But I mean, as sad as it is, we are going to have to, cope with it, forget about it, and not make too much fuss about it. The match was a very terrible match. Mistakes everywhere. We considered 4 goals out of 4 mistakes. The first goal uh, actually started kind of like a 50-50 game. We scored the first goal, but it was ruled off for an offside, and just I think less than 5 minutes later, we conceded a goal. They scored us through an own goal from our defender Ngene, and then a few minutes later, the same Ngene used his hand to touch the ball in his own defense in his own box, and it was so pointless because he was he was dragging the ball with his with his teammates, in the defensive line. Nobody was marking them. They were just there dragging the ball in the air, and what a bad way for a defender to lifting with his hands held up. It was a it was just a nightmare to watch. I know a lot of people are saying the referee was not also nice to us. They were like, the referee was kind of biased, in a way. Some were even saying, that handball is not supposed to be a penalty, and I see reason to that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it still goes down to the inexperience of the defender causing so many, mistakes like that. And you know that these kinds of, mistake can get you punished, definitely. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's. I don't think referee has anything to do with it. They didn't even play well. If they played well and have referee was against them, you would say, okay, at least they were trying their best, but they didn't play anything at all. And then second half, they added Sudanese side added another 2 goal to complete it 4-0, and this is the worst defeat that we've had. I think joint worst defeat we've had in this Chan tournament. This is the 8th time it's been hosted, and the last time we considered as much as four goes to 0 was I think back in 2018 when we played Morocco in the finals. So it's a very terrible experience, which Eric Shell and the boys will have to come back, with their heads buried in their hands in shame. But before they do that, they are still going to have to, come out to play the last game coming up um, against Congo. That game is just to fulfill all righteousness because they've already been knocked out. They just have to uphold that match, because if they don't play that match, they are going to get fined, or banned. Surely, obviously, you have to play all the games, but there's no hope whatsoever of qualifying. So they're just basically going to let you know, Coach Eric Shell's post-match reaction. Of course, it was very awkward because, I mean, if you lose in that manner, sometimes as a coach you don't even want to come to talk, in a in a post-match conference interview. But he said our goal was ruled out, and afterwards we made a lot of mistakes. 4 mistakes, 4 goals. Our training session before the game went well. We analyzed Sudan's team. We prepared well. But we were not ready for as many mistakes. Though some important players left our preparation camps, um, these were the best players in our league. We cannot play a game like that and lose in the manner that we did. We need to be more focused. We have we have lost all ambition. The chance is over for us. We have a third match to play for our honor and respect. But I am disappointed by this match. It is the worst game I have overseen from the dugout as a coach. So that's what the man has said. Of course, pointing light on the fact that we had some of our best players in the league leaving the camp because they secured a move outside of the league. Talking about Papa Daniel, Mustafa, Savior, Isaac, a couple of good players as well. But I mean, nobody would want to hear these excuses. No one, especially when you're coaching a big country like Nigeria, a footballing nation. Nobody wants to hear excuses. They just want you to win. But I mean, whether we like it or not, at the end of the day, we are not going to win everything, right? We recently we just saw our Super Falcons win the finals of the WAFCON, and then also the basketball team also won. You know, now people are having all this expectation that any competition that we partake as Nigerians or as Team Nigeria, we have to win it. No, that's not realistic. At the end of the day, if we don't put in the performances, if we don't take um, along with us the best personnel, then it's impossible to win it. And these guys that played in that match, I'm sure they are the worst set of players that you could have, possibly hoped for. And all these blames coming to Coach Eric Shaw, I've been seeing a lot of people that even that I expect them to have a better understanding or a better analysis of this match, saying that Coach Eric Shell should be fired. That's crazy to me because uh, there's no way that you can expect a result from him if he doesn't get the right players to prosecute the message that he's giving them. Guardiola, for example, Guardiola cannot perform with these boys. Top coaches in Europe, Pep Guardiola, for example, he came to Man City, he discarded the people that he didn't want to, that he felt couldn't play his pattern, and then he bought the ones that could play into his style, his technical kind of style. Klopp, the same thing. Right now we're seeing Enzo Maresca doing the same thing. So it's not all about coach. Coach is not a magician. At the end of the day, you have to provide him with the players that can execute his strategy. That's why I feel like people are being too harsh on Coach Eric Shaw. But at the end of the day, let me know what you think about this. Of course, they are going to be coming back, in shame. Some people are saying that they should not even send private jets for them. They should allow them to trek from Kenya to Nigeria because of the fact that they went there to disgrace Nigerians. But let me know your reaction, guys. At the end of the day, it's what it is. We have to soak this one in and then move on and forget about it.